So China is holding a tennis star hostage. The world is not being able to do anything about it. I understand we cannot board a flight to China and start looking for Peng Shuai, but here's something that we can do, all of us. Set an example. Set an example for China so that it knows it can no longer get away with such crimes. How do we do that? It's actually very simple. Boycotting the upcoming Genocide Games. 4th February 2022, that's when Beijing hosts the Winter Olympics. After exporting a pandemic and profiting from it, after carrying out a genocide and practically imprisoning an Olympian, Beijing wants the honor of hosting the Winter Olympics. And that's not even the most amusing part of it. Here's what's funny. Countries are willing to participate in China's Genocide Games. Not a single country has boycotted the Beijing Olympics, not one. Sure, the US is pledging a diplomatic boycott. Sure, the UK too has similar plans. Canada too is reportedly discussing a diplomatic boycott. But how does it even help? What precisely is the point of not sending ministers when you're happily sending flights filled with athletes to China? And this is a country that the West jointly sanctioned over the Uyghur genocide. Where is that activism now? The Olympics are supposed to promote international cooperation. Has the world forgotten that China has not cooperated one bit on the Wuhan virus probe? The Olympics celebrate peace. Has the world forgotten that China's aggression threatens peace in the region and beyond? The Olympics are a festival of friendship. Can countries like the US still claim to be Taiwan's friends after participating in China's Genocide Games? The Olympics are a celebration of human achievement, and China is a serial abuser of human rights. Beijing has violated every provision in the UN Genocide Convention. It has put over 1 million Uyghurs in concentration camps. With them are Kazakhs and members from other minority communities. Women are being raped in Xinjiang's camps. There are reports of organ harvesting, forced sterilization, IUD insertions. People are disappearing in China. This country is guilty of oppression, systemic abuse. And these games, the Winter Olympics, they are Beijing's way of sports washing its crimes. I'm surprised that the world is willing to be party to this PR stunt. Here's what countries should do instead. Boycott the Genocide Games. And it is possible, yes, there is precedent. Games have been boycotted in the past. Take the 1980 Moscow Olympics, for example. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979. So when the Soviet Union hosted Olympics 1 year later, 62 countries did not show up in protest. 62. Then in the year 1976, the Games were held in Montreal. 26 African countries missed it. Why? Because New Zealand was participating in these games and the Kiwis had just played rugby with South Africa, who the African countries had isolated over racism. They took a stand. In 1964, the International Olympics Committee banned South Africa from participating in the Tokyo Olympics. Why? Because the country refused to condemn the apartheid. The ban on South Africa lasted until 1992. The apartheid regime killed around 8,500 people between 1984 and 1990. China must have killed double the number of Uyghurs, or triple, or more, who knows? And powerful bodies like the IOC don't seem to care. Forget making China pay. The International Olympics Committee is helping China sports wash. Is it because China is too powerful or too loaded? In 1964, the same Olympics Committee banned teams that took part in the 1963 Games of the new emerging forces. In the 2000 Sydney Games, the IOC banned Afghanistan for discriminating against women. And now the same IOC has suddenly turned blind to China's crimes. It won't cancel the Games even after China went after one of IOC's own Olympians. It is in fact defending China, saying that Peng Shuai is safe. The IOC may selectively be blind/spineless, but you and I are not. Heads of state and heads of government should not be either. They can come together to boycott these Genocide Games, come together to take this campaign forward. Former US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has thrown his weight behind the call for a boycott. This is what Pompeo has said. The CCP has disappeared. Reporters writing about Wuhan virus, doctors telling the truth about CCP labs, a professional tennis player, Uighurs, Hong Kongers, the head of Interpol. Let's disappear the Olympics from them and hold it in a place the world can be proud of. Hashtag boycott Beijing Olympics. Mike Pompeo is right. A country that does not respect sports stars cannot be allowed to host the world's most prestigious sporting event. China does not deserve that kind of respect, and you know what? It's not often that the world has such a leverage against China. The Genocide Games are our chance to make China pay for the Wuhan virus, for the death of more than 5 million innocent people, for expansionism in the South China Sea, for forced disappearances. The world should make China pay for its human rights abuses by boycotting the Genocide Games. There is precedent. There are enough and more reasons. All the world now needs is some willpower. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.